Right from Apple Valley Astrologers. After the shooting incident that happened in San Bernardino, California, I've had numerous people contact me and ask for my input and see what I thought about the situation with current aspects going on. As some of you know, I started freaking out last month about the T-square with the Uranus and Pluto square that has been ongoing. It lining up with Venus, because that was the aspect pattern that happened during the Russian jet attack. I saw that again, and that's when I assumed that there was going to be something going on Black Friday. And I initially said New York, but it ended up being in Colorado. Essentially, Mars did play into the energy that was going on with the original aspect pattern that had Venus involved, because it was almost conjunct with Venus. But now it's just Mars. And some astrologers are arguing that it actually won't be that bad, that in fact it's supposed to be some sort of sign of diplomacy because Libra is in Mars. Well, I am a Libra, and also my boyfriend that lives with me, he has a Libra Mars. And just as with every single sign, well, it has pros and cons. So the pro, which is what other astrologers are referring to, is that Libra Mars doesn't tend to be as impulsive or brash or aggressive, so they can definitely be good diplomats. And that's usually when a lot of verbal altercations go on. Another thing I will fucking interject in this as well, everybody seems to be in a confrontational kind of mood verbally, because that's what I was just saying, that it's more verbal altercations. I have been recording this video for about 2 minutes, and I've already been interrupted twice, and it's driving me crazy. So, people are going to get on each other's nerves a lot during this aspect. Depending on where the planets are landing in the houses will depend on how this intense energy manifests. It's the 5th of December, 2015. What we're looking at here. There's Uranus right now. And then, so there is Mars. And Mars is actually conjunct with the moon right now, which is going to make everybody more irate. And if there's anybody who has a Libra moon, for example, or in Libra Mars, which I have 2 of those in this. I have one that has Libra Mars and one that has Libra Moon in this house. They're going to be confrontational and bugging me about stupid crap. I talked about that last week, about the triple air grant trine going on. That got a lot of people discussing some things. Foot and mouth syndrome is obviously going on still because Mercury's in Sagittarius. So, during that trine, people probably said a lot of stuff they shouldn't have said. And now they're facing the repercussions because everybody who was potentially bottling anything up, which Libras are very good at doing that, hence the Libra Mars thing going on and the Libra Moon thing, they're now going to be blowing up on people at random. Because Pluto would be the whole blowing up factor, and then the random, unpredictable shit would be coming from Uranus. So I'll speed through and, stop talking about what's going on here. You'll notice, just in case anybody has never seen how the chart moves forward, I'm just going by hour. You'll see now that they're in completely different houses. So, for example, you see this going on right here. Uranus in the 3rd house, Pluto almost on the ascendant, and then Mars in the 9th house. This is the actual T-square that was going on with Venus last month, and as you continue to see it go on again, that is not going to be a good time over here. That is going to... Anybody in the Wenatchee area, there's going to be a lot of fights on the 6th of December. So tomorrow at noon, turn your phone off. But see, as you keep going around, this T-square, as I've told some people, is going to be lasting through the majority of this month. And see, we've got grand crosses jumping in on that as well, which will make it worse. And again, see... Ooh, that's pretty gnarly. Keep going, keep going. I'm just going to keep going until I don't see it anymore. See when there's all that huge cluster of red? That's not good. That's a lot of conflict and tension. And seeing as the actual energy and ramifications of the Uranus Pluto square is now starting to manifest, ooh, that day's gonna be bad. That's the 11th of December. Ew. Midday. This is essentially, especially those grand crosses that keep happening all throughout this month. This is going to be pretty much the starter of the Uranus-Pluto square actually manifesting. Because since Uranus and Pluto are both generational planets, we don't feel it instantaneously because the personal planets are triggers. The outer planets are influences. So, just as with the precession of the equinoxes and the seasons, you don't just transition instantaneously from one season to another. So it's a delayed effect. And so essentially all the crazy stuff that's now going to continue going on, I think the T-square already broke. So, and I'm already at the 19th of December. Sorry, I was just so busy talking. Didn't even think about it. I know I covered this in my other video, but I just can't remember for the life of me the dates right now. So right there, it looks like that's the last of it, and that's the 16th of December. See, Mars and Venus in the situation for last month and this month, those are the triggers for Uranus-Pluto square. So it's always the personal planets, as I was saying, that trigger the huge generational planets' influences. And with Mars and Libra being one of the most significant personal planets per se, on at least a larger demographic level because it represents the man and the woman, this is essentially the translation of sociological triggers for the Uranus-Pluto square. And I hate to say it, but it's just going to get worse from here. So there's no point in me even trying to predict certain events or anything, but this is going to be an ongoing thing and it's going to be bad. If anybody's interested in, having a breakdown or having me animate one of these out for their local area, I am more than willing to do that in a forecast service consultation. You can see from that, there's a lot of shit going down. It can manifest differently when they're in each house, but the one that keeps coming up that's causing all kinds of shit is, for example, when Uranus or Pluto or Mars, either one of that part of the T-square, is touching the 8th house. It's the house of death or disease. You can expect those kinds of themes to come up. It could be some sort of out-of-the-blue random diagnosis of disease. It can be some crazy, traumatic, unnatural injury. Or if Pluto's in that house, death. Or even if there's Uranus in there and then Pluto's towards the ascendant, death too. Because Uranus in Aries is represented by a loose cannon and it's a fire sign. Explosions, that's including environmental. So there was some sort of volcano eruption that happened the other day. So explosions, bombs, attacks, invasions could even be a part of this, and gunfire or being shot. Some sort of traumatic, explosive kind of death or injury will be attributed to this. And I could probably make a 10-minute thing about how it could potentially impact a scenario or a location or a group of people. Really hard to generalize. And again, with astrology, that's usually the rule of thumb. It's difficult to generalize. And just in case you're in denial, the whole shooting thing is going to continue. And so is the bombing thing. So, good luck. And if anybody, again, would like to talk to me about coordinates for that T-square for the rest of this month in their personal location, hit me up on my Facebook page or through my personal email. You can do it on my website, but I'm still kind of messing with my website. So